Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with our session 11 of Python and Data Analytics Internship, October 2025. Today's topic will be Introduction to Data Analytics and Libraries, basically NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. Okay. So we have completed our Python section of this internship program, and now today we are going to start with our data analytics part of this internship. Okay, so Python part is completed, and now we are going to focus on data analytics. Today will be an introductory class, that what data analytics is, what is NumPy, what is Pandas, what is Matplotlib, and in the further sessions we will have detailed discussion on these topics. Okay, so let's start. So what is data analytics? This is our main agenda of this internship program. So we should be clear that what data analytics actually means. Okay. So data analytics is the process of collecting, cleaning, and analyzing and interpreting data to find useful insights and make informed decisions. Basically, in this today's digital world, data is wealth. The more you hold the data, the more digital wealth you hold in your hands. Every company, whether it is MNC or local, even startups, everybody is focused on gathering data. But this data can be in any form, in raw form. Basically, they are collecting that data. Okay. So from the step of collecting to cleaning, then analyzing it, and then interpreting it, that what are the outcomes that we are able to find from that data, comes under data analytics. Basically, data analytics deals with all the steps that are related to data. Every organization in today's world is focused on data analytics because it can help you to gain some insights, what might happen in future, what is happening currently, what has happened in past, what are the strategies that they have to follow, what are the what is the plan they have to make so that their organization can grow. Everything can be find out from data. Without data, there is nothing in this digital world. AI is totally driven by data. Even OpenAI, Gemini, all AI models are driven by data only. If no data is present, then these AI models are worthless. They will learn upon the data that you are feeding them. They are basically analyzing that data that you feed them, and then they are making predictive decision that what user wants based on the past data that you are feeding to the AI models. We will see that in later part, in the later sessions. But for now, we should be clear that what data analytics means. So data analytics is the process of collecting. Basically, you are collecting all the data from all your surroundings, whether it is from social media or whether it is from feedback from the users or from any other sites, open source. Data can be collected from anywhere if you have access to it. Then you have to clean that data because that data is in raw form. You have to bring it in a form that where you can perform analysis on that, where you can analyze it, that what are the insights we are getting from it. Okay, so for that you need to clean it. Cleaning basically means arrange it in a manner that can be understood. Okay, then we are analyzing it. After arranging it in a manner that human can understand it or the tools can understand it, we are analyzing it and then interpreting it. After analyzing, we are coming up with the decisions that this product growth has seen a rise in the past few months. Earlier it has seen a downfall. Okay, like in stock market, you interpret based on the chart lines that okay, from the past 5 years this stock is growing continuously, it may grow further. Or you can evaluate that this stock is overvalued right now. Okay, so there might be a correction coming up. All these predictions are based on the data that you have from the past till present, and you can predict the future based on this data only. So why is it important? Every organization collect huge amount of data. For example, sales, customer feedback, sensor data, etc. These are the sources from which where you can get the data. Okay, so as I told you that every organization focuses on collecting data about their customers, users, because by analyzing the behavior of customers, by using this data, they can easily predict that what their customer actually wants or what they are interested in. So to grow further, they need to know the behavior of the customer. For that, they are focused on collecting data, and that's why data engineer job is in huge demand in every industry, because they want to understand their customers, users, market, environment, situations, etc. and etc. Okay. And what can be the sources of these data? Sales, basically what product they are selling, what customers are buying that product, of which age group they are buying. Okay. And which geolocation, from which geolocation the product is in huge demand. Okay. So there can be many factors. So sales, the product you sales. Okay, the customer details you get from there, the customer feedback. Like in e-commerce platform, you might have seen that Flipkart gives you a review section where you can put your own review. Okay. Sensor data basically means like IoT devices data. Okay. Like basically they can be of different types of sensors like speedometer and thermometer. Okay, these are the devices that give you data about temperature, speed, etc. Sensor data can be of any type. Sensor data can also be used to analyze the health of the soil, like in modern agriculture, farmer used to uh, put sensors in their field, and they can gain the insights like how much moisture their soil has, or what amount of nutrients their soil is contained, and what more the soil needs. Okay, so everything can be predicted from that sensor data only. So these are the sources from which you can get data: sales, customer feedback, sensor data, etc. Okay, there can be many more sources. Like satellite sources also. Satellite also gains the data. It clicks the picture and send it to the particular organization that is using that particular satellite. Data analytics helps convert the raw data into meaningful insights. As I said earlier, every data is in a raw form. Okay, if that is not in a raw form, then there is no need of data cleaning there. Okay, but we have to clean that raw data. It is basically like you have planted some vegetables in a field, the farmer has plucked them and sell into the market. Then after you bought that vegetables in your home, you have to clean it, wash it with water, then you have to utilize it. Similar thing happens with data also. The data you collected is in raw form. Basically, it is full of noise, it is full of disturbances, etc. and etc., which is not needed in the data analysis. That need to be cleaned out, so that we are not dealing with any extra information that is not required in our analysis. Okay, in order to filter out that useless information, which is basically noise, which we call it noise. Noise basically means that the data which is not required but present in your data set. Okay, so we need to remove that noise, make it clean, and then we have to analyze it, and then we will predict that what this data is saying. Basically, data speaks. If I tell you in simpler way, data speaks itself when it is in arranged form. You can make prediction. You can make predictions on future. Stock market is totally driven by data. The more amount the data a person has, the more accurate his or her decisions become. Okay, so data is very powerful. It speaks when it is in proper format, and with you have proper tools to analyze it, to make it speak. Okay, so data analytics is of basically four types. Yeah, these four types you can consider as 4 steps. Whenever you get any data, you should know these 4 things. First, descriptive. Basically what it tells is what happened. Monthly sales report. Okay, you suppose you have a monthly sales report. Here is an example presented to you, like monthly sales report. So as soon as you get the monthly sales report, you will be going to question this question on that particular sales report, that what happened, whether our sales has increased, whether our sales has decreased, or some anomaly has occurred. Anomaly basically means the behavior which was not predicted earlier. Suppose it should go up or it should go down, but there might be some factors which has changed that natural course. So we consider that as an anomaly, like unexpected rise in the sales, unexpected fall in the sales. Until it is in your expectations, then it is not an anomaly. When it crosses your expectations, then it is considered as anomaly. So you are going to ask first question, what happened on that data which you get? Okay. Then you have to diagnose it. Second type is diagnostic. Then why did it happen? If sales are rising, why they are rising? What factor has made customer more interested in our product? If sales are decreasing, you should know that what are the factors that had affected customer and that has increased the customer unsatisfied experience of our product. So why they are dropping? Okay, you have to ask that question. Third is predictive. What will happen? Okay, now what happened is happened. Now you will ask the question that what is going to happen in the future. If this trend continues, that the trend which we are analyzing from past data, if this trend continues, what will happen in future? If sales kept getting dropped, okay, sales are always getting decreased in the future, then what will happen to the company? What will happen to that particular product? Then they obviously have to stop the production of that particular product. For example, like Apple always launches a new iPhone in September. Okay, so when the new iPhone comes, the sales of older iPhones get decreased, like iPhone 11, iPhone 12. Okay, and the latest iPhone sales kept on increasing. So if they continue to build the older version of iPhone, which is not required by the customers furthermore, so it will have a negative effect on the company's growth. So they need to stop the production of iPhone 11 in order to boost the production of latest iPhone with latest technology. Okay, so these forecasting, these predictions which you are making, which you are going to made, okay, they are basically based on the past data that you have collected till present, and that data is used to predict the future, that what might be the scenarios in the upcoming future. They might not be 100% correct, but they might be correct up to 90%. I told you earlier in the beginning of this lecture, the more data you have, the more accurate your decision becomes. Okay. The more data you kept on gathering and gathering, the accuracy will kept on increasing, like from 98 to 95, 95 to 99%. Okay. We cannot be 100% sure about the future, but we can be sure that 99% case that this is going to happen in future, and you can take the steps in advance in order to tackle that situation in the future that is going to occur or might occur in the future. So fourth type is prescriptive. I told you in the latest example only, what should we do? Suppose if the sales are dropping, then we have to stop the production of iPhone 11. So this is the step that we are going to take. There is a saying that prevention is better than cure. Okay. So when the sales started dropping and you are thinking that now we have to take the steps to stop this, basically stop this outdated production of that uh, outdated iPhone 11. Okay. So you are curing that thing that at that time. But if you prevent it, if you make some precautions beforehand, like if this is going to happen in future, this will be our plan, then that comes under prescriptive. If you are taking the decision at that moment only when things are happening, then it is basically you are curing that part. But if you want to prevent it, you should have a plan beforehand. So uh, sorry, in prescriptive we should know that what should we doing when this thing is going to happen in future, like increase digital marketing to boost sale. In today's scenario, what basically I got disconnected. Let me join again. Sorry for the disturbance. So what we were discussing is basically that data is analytics is of four types. You should ask these four. You should have to take these four steps when as soon as you get the data. Like what happened, why did it happen, what will happen, and what should we do. Okay. So let's move to the next slide. Why learn data analytics? From the beginning of this lecture, I am basically focusing that data analytics is a very skill that is in huge demand in today's industry. Okay. Every organization wants to hire data engineers because every decision that an organization takes is driven by data, not by humans in today's scenario. So the MNCs or every tech industry, not even the tech industry, every industry, whether it is food industry, e-commerce industry, or IT industry, or basically mechanical industry, any industry any industry's decisions are driven by data in today's digital world. Data is wealth. Okay, the more data you have, the more you are ahead of your competitors. Okay, you can predict more things than your competitors because you are having a large amount of data. You are having more data than them. So it is going to increase the efficiency of your decision. It is going to increase the feasibility of your plan, and it is going to increase the sales of your products on which the company's revenue or organization's revenue is dependent. So that's why this skill is in huge demand. And as this digital world is changing day by day, their companies strategies are also changing in that manner only. So earlier data analytics was not such a broad field. It was present there, but in today's world you can see that even the AI models that you are using like chat gpt, gemini, okay, grok, these all are driven by data only. The more amount of data they are feeding to their models, the more intelligent their models are getting, and they are becoming more human like models like chat gpt. Now chat gpt, openai has claimed that their latest chat gpt model is very close to human thinking. Because, and why openai is ahead of all other competitors, because they have a very huge amount of huge set of data that they are feeding to their model, and their model is getting in basically intelligent day by day. The more the more you query on the chat gpt na, that feedback is going to the that particular model in the backend. So the more user they have, the more prompting the users are doing, the more intelligent their model is becoming, because the more data their model has to train on. So that's why data analytics is inseparable part of today's world. Okay, you can easily see that AI is getting implemented everywhere, and to make that AI a perfect AI, you need data, and this demand of data will never end, even in the near future or in the further future. Data will kept on getting collected and collected and collected. That's why data analytics is in huge demand. It's a high demand skill across all industries, enables data driven decision that I was talking earlier, that every organization wants to make data driven decisions because they increase the accuracy of their decisions, instead of hypothetically thinking that okay, now we are launching iphone 17, but it might happen in future that our customer are going to demand iphone 11. But it is a hypothetical decision that a human can take. But if you analyze the past trends and the data of the iphone users, then you will find that as soon as an latest iphone releases, people started switching from the older version of iphone to the latest version of iphone. Okay, the sales of that new version kept on getting increased and increased and increased. So if they are taking decision based on the data, they will never think of producing iphone 11 again. Even someone suggests that our customer might want iphone 11 in the near future, but on analyzing the past trends of that particular data, of particular set of data, you will come to a decision that okay, we have seen a decline in older version of iphone sales as soon as a new version comes. So that's why apple is stopped the production of older version of iphones. So data driven decisions are basically important part of today's organization and industries. Improves critical thinking and problem solving. Critical thinking is basically that uh, it comes with problem solving only, like a human can think. Okay, solve the problem is machine will follow instruction. You tell machine go, it will go. Tell the machine right, it will go right. But suppose, for example, you can take the example of self-driven car. Okay, so there they have to critically think about it and consider the obstacles on the road as problems, and they have to solve it. Based on that, they have to take a decision that they should overtake that particular vehicle or not. They should take a right turn or a left turn based on user's destination. So basically it improves critical thinking, and from where they are able to drive their decisions. You are not telling the self-driven car to take left or take right. Okay, machine will do what you say, but you have feed enough amount of data to that self-driven cars model that they are able to make decision on their own by treating the vehicles on the road as problems and trying to find the solution, that whether they have to go right or left, whether they have to overtake it, whether they have to apply brakes, and etc and etc. Okay, so data analytics improves critical thinking and problem solving. Fourth, foundation for AI, ML, and deep learning. Without data, there will be no AI. Okay, if AI, if you want that, you should learn AI, you have to learn about data. You okay, or you want that AI should evolve in a very advanced version, like in Avengers movies, like Ultron, etc. Okay, so there you also need data. Ultron also needs data. Jarvis also needs data in order to make decision, in order to suggest user that what step they should take in order to generate output on their own. Then everything is driven by data. Without data, AI, ML, and deep learning will not survive. Their foundation is basically the data. Data is the building block of AI, ML, and deep learning. So Last point basically is about your career growth, that by learning data analytics you will become data analyst. Data analyst is basically one who performs operations on data, like cleaning, analyzing it, and interpreting it. Okay, so you are basically playing with data only. Data. I don't know what is happening today. My network is getting disconnected again and again. So I was talking about that. The last point. एक minute. Is my screen visible? Okay. So I was talking about data. The last point basically symbolizes like data analyst, what data analyst is, what data scientist is, and what AI engineer is. Basically, this is the path for your career. Okay. Like data analyst is the one who gathers the data, clean the data, and then perform some operations on the data, and then find out the insights or the things that data is trying to say to you. So that is the work of data analyst. After when you become a data analyst, then you should pursue data scientist. Data scientist is basically what, he is the one who builds the AI model based on the data. I told you, na, data is the foundation of AI, ML, and deep learning. Without it, AI, ML, and deep learning will not exist. Without data, nothing like AI, ML, and deep learning, you will only see them as hypothetical terms. Okay, so if you have data, then you can build all these models. So data analyst is the one who gathers the data, as I told you. Data scientist builds AI models basically on that particular set of data that you have found, gathered, analyzed. Okay, so data scientist is the one who basically deals with AI, building of AI models, ML models, deep learning models. What they are, you are training a model based on the past data. Then you are inputting an input from the user, and you are asking that model, okay, suppose this thing is going to happen in future, what do you suggest? Then that model is going to predict, okay, if these are the things, then that person is going to take that decision. Basically AI is predicting there. Suppose data scientist has trained a model, learning based on the data of patients that are having asthma in the past. Okay, and that data contains many features, like what are their daily habits, or what are the environmental constraints there. Basically, what is the AQI of air there, pollution, basically what is the pollution index there, density of pollutant particles in the air, and many other sensory data. Then based on that data you have prepared a model, and now you are inputting a person's detail. Okay, this person is living in Delhi, his age is this. Okay, and these are its daily habits, and AQI of Delhi is this and that and that. And you are asking the model now that what are the chances of that person getting an asthma. Then that AI model is going to predict the future of that person. that there are 80% chances that this person will suffer from an asthma after 10 years or 15 years or 16 years. How the AI model is coming up with that prediction is based on the data on that model. Okay, and that data is coming from data analyst. Data scientist is using it to make a model. And after you made a model, an AI engineer is implementing it. Basically, after data scientist, an AI engineer is basically an advanced version who knows about data analyst and who knows about data scientist. An AI engineer is going to use that model in production. In production means like Chat GPT. I will give you an example of Chat GPT. In for building Chat GPT, they have gathered the data. Then data scientist has prepared a model. Then that model, after testing and after testing it accuracy and effectiveness, they implemented it for the general public, for the users in the market. Okay, and that users are you and me. So we are using that model. And who has implemented it? An AI engineer. AI engineer's work is basically to get the model from the data scientists and then implement it for the public use. So these are the steps which will basically show you that how your career is going to change. First step is data analyst, then you are going to become data scientist, and then after an AI engineer. AI engineer is basically an advanced version. So in this roadmap, if you analyze it, you will find out that everything, every decision, and every step is totally driven by data. Without data, these roles or these models will not be present, and there will be no AI, ML, or deep learning. So that's why we should learn about data analytics. Now, in order to do data analytics, there are three terms which you should be aware. There are many terms, but these basically makes the building blocks of data analysis. First is NumPy, second is Pandas, and third is Matplotlib. So these are the Python libraries which you have to install basically by using the command pip install NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. Okay, then these libraries will get installed in your VNV, and then you are going to use them to predict to perform operations on the data, which we will see in further sessions. So NumPy is a library. It basically deals with scientific calculations on terms like matrices, 2D arrays, 3D arrays, 4D arrays. Okay, all these operation, mean, median, mode, you are going to perform them by using NumPy only. You might be asking that, okay, we are having list earlier, we can perform operations from the list also, but NumPy gives you scientific tools, scientific calculations that you can perform, like standard deviation, variance, mean, median, mode, etc, and etc. So everything is pre-built in pre-built there, and all you only have to use those functions and perform operations on the data, and you will get the insights from the data. Okay, Pandas is basically used for data manipulation and analysis. So now you have gathered the data, you have performed some computational things on the data, and you want to manipulate it somehow. Like, okay, you want to see the structure of the data. Pandas comes there. Data frames are there in Pandas that we are going to use. These all things you will be going to learn in the further sessions in detail. Each session contains is focused on one particular topic. Like tomorrow's session might be on Pandas, next session will be on NumPy, because these are three main important libraries to learn in data analytics program. So we are going to focus on them in detail in later sessions. Matplotlib is basically used for data visualization and plotting. You are going using Matplotlib, you are going to plot graphs like pie charts, bar graphs, etc, and etc, using the data that you have. Okay, so in order to visualize that data, because visualization gives you more insights that what you need and what you don't need. So after visualizing it structure, you can easily come up with some decisions that you should do this on this data in order to get that particular uh, result. Like I have given you an example of predicting a person's asthma in near future. So the data which we are going to train our model basically contains AQI, because AQI is an important factor in causing asthmas. Okay, so AQI and many other factors like there can be a water quality factor also, hai na? So these are the some matrices that you are going to need, like age, location, etc. You are going to need in order to predict that person's future, that whether he is going to suffer from asthma or not. But suppose there is an column in that particular set of data which is basically highlighting that what the income of that person is. So income really doesn't affect the factors that will have effect on the persons suffering from asthma. So you will visualize that, okay, there these are the three columns that I am going to need, and these four columns are I will be not needed in these particular predictions. So you are going to drop them. You will make that data as precise as possible in order to increase the accuracy of your data model, so that your data model will make as precise decision with as accurate accuracy that will uh, tell that 90% chances are there that this person is going to suffer from asthma. It might not be 100% correct. I am telling you, every decision taken from data might not be 100% correct, but it can be 99% correct, but it can be 98% correct. So it gives a huge boost to in knowing the near future of that particular person. Together, they form the core ecosystem of Python data analytics. These three libraries are the core of Python data analytics. Okay, if you want to perform analytics on data using Python, there are many other tools like Power BI, etc., which you can use in order to analyze the data. But using Python, these three libraries are a must. Without them, data analytics is like basically human body without a soul. Okay. So introduction to NumPy. What NumPy is basically is it stands for numerical Python. Why NumPy? Efficient operation on large arrays and matrices. Matrices are basically that you have learned about in maths. Okay, like there are rows and columns, and there are rows and columns. You have written some numbers, and you want to perform multiplication, addition on between two matrices. You have identical matrices where diagonal elements are one and all other elements are zero. So all those operations are going to be performed by using NumPy only. Offers mathematical functions, mean, sum, square root, etc. Okay, these are pre-built functions. You only have to call them and use on the data that you have. Supports broadcasting and vectorized operation. This you will learn in the near sessions. So for now, let's drop it. I will show you an example what NumPy basically does. Suppose this is an example. We are importing NumPy. AS stands for alias. Basically, we are giving a dummy name for this NumPy, NP. If you write, okay, let me show you with an example. So first you have to install these libraries in your VNB. This is the command pip install NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. Okay, these libraries should be installed in your Python VNV. I have already installed them. So let's code. Then you have to import that NumPy as NP. You can give any name, NP, SP, or TY, etc. Whatever you want to give. So why we are using it? Basically, we are giving a alias to this name, NumPy, AS, alias NP. So wherever we have to write NumPy, we can write NP. Okay, like I'm going to create an array. Okay, and that is NP dot array, and in that I am specifying my elements 1, 2, 3. They can be anything. So NP, what? Let me zoom it. So NP, which we have written here, na. So it stands for NumPy. It is basically the short form for NumPy. If we are not using alias as np, then we have to write numpy here. Every time where we are going to use the functionality of numpy, we have to write fully numpy. But now we can write the short as np because we are using its alias name. After that, we are going to print this array. Print array. Now you are seeing that we are getting array here, 1, 2, 3. But what if we want to get the mean of this array? So we are going to use mean function. Now we are going to getting 2 as its. So there can be many other functions which you can use like mean. Okay, there is mode. You can find the mode of this, or you can find the basically median of this. Okay, there are some operations that you can perform on it, that these are pre-built function in it, and you can get the answer without writing any logic that this is mean. Basically mean means you can perform standard deviation, you can perform sqrt, square root. Okay, these are all pre-built functions that are built in so that operations become easy for the user. Now, what pandas is basically how you will manipulate your data. Okay, you have data in your excel sheet and you want to visualize it using tables and columns, and you want to manipulate it somehow. So there you are going to use pandas. Tabular and structured data best for basically for excel data. Key data structures are, there are two terms which you have to remember: series and data frame. You will learn, don't worry, you will learn about these in the near sessions. For now, just remember series is basically one label data, one D label data, like uh, written in one line only. Data frame is 2D table with rows and columns. I will show you an example of data frame. So now if we are going to use, we have to use pandas, PD, basic form, short form for pandas. Now we are going to create a data frame basically equal to, in order to call, in order to call basically pandas, we are going to use PD. Then we are using data frame. Then in that bracket we are using data. So we are going to define our data. So what this data frame is, you can hover on it and you can get that this is a data frame class. It stores indices, columns, etc. and etc. Okay, these are the things that this data frame is going to perform. So you can use any data structure. Basically, if you want to use list here, it will consider it as 0, 1, 2 index. It has two parameters. One is data, which you are going to give, and one is index. Okay. So these are two things that you will get from data frame. Now we are going to create a dictionary here. Like there is a name. Okay. And in name, we are going to create its value. Name is basically key, and we are going to create a list of names. So names can be like Amit or Johnny. ठीक है. So we have created a list that contains several names under one key, that is name. Now we are going to create marks. Now we can create a list of marks that will represent the marks of each individual, 68 and 78, for example. Now there are two ways, like you can store it in df. Df can be any variable, or you can use any other thing. pd dot data frame, and in data frame you are going to mention the variable whose data you are going to use to the frame. And then you print that variable. Now, as you here, you are getting names and marks as two columns with indexes 0 and 1. Okay. Under name, you are getting Amit, Johnny, and under marks, you are getting 68 and 78. So you are getting two columns, names and marks, and you are getting two indexes 0 and 1. Okay. Now, here you are printing this df. What if you don't want to print? Python has created base default representation for pandas. Like you can simply write pd.dataframe data, and then you can run it. Now you can see that it is in a very uh, what we say enhanced UI version. Like it is basically using a UI version of it to represent the data. We were just printing the data. Now it is using its default framework on which it has designed. Like there are two columns, a name and marks. Things are same, only changes. So this is how you can basically use pandas in order to manipulate your data by creating data frame. So let's move to the next slide. Now we will introduce you about Matplotlib. I told you earlier that it is used to visualize your data. Okay, Matplotlib is basically used to visualize your data, how your data looks, how your data is arranged, and what changes you are bringing to that data by working on it. Everything can be visualized in form of pie charts, graphs, etc. using Matplotlib. So purpose is and interactive plots. You can plot your data in any of these forms like line chart, bar chart, scatter plot. These are not only three plots that you can plot. There are many other things like pie chart is also there. So you can use these in order to visualize your data which you have with you. In order, this pipe load is nothing but a representation. Okay, so you pipe load basically comes under this matplotlib library. It is a functionality of this. So import matplotlib pipeload as plt. You can name anything, like here they have for simplicity they use plt. Then you have to put it. This is not compulsory thing. Plt.title, you can put it if you want your visualized graph to be more informative, so that user can understand that what this graph is about. And then plt.show is basically to show the user that how the graph looks. Okay, so let's see with an example how this graph is created. Import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. Then we are going to use plt.plot. In it, we are taking 1, 2, 3, and we are taking 4, 5, 6. Remember, first thing before this comma is your x-axis, and after this comma is your y-axis, as you have learned in graphs. So it is similarly, it comes with syntax like this. I am writing this for your reference, like x comma y. Okay, first thing is x-axis, then the next thing is y-axis. closed it. Now we are going to plt dot title. In it, you can write any message that you want to be displayed on your graph. Then you are going to use plt dot show. Okay. Now we are going to run this code. As you can see, this is the graph which we are getting. Basically, which we are getting by using Matplotlib. Okay. So we use this code. I'm zooming it a bit. And this is the graph which we are getting. On x-axis, we are getting 1, 2, 3. From 1 to 3, as we have defined it, that 1, 2, and 3. And in the y-axis, we are getting values from 4 to 6. This graph is created by Matplotlib. We only told Python that, okay, Python, you have to plot a graph with with these values on the x-axis, with these values on the y-axis. Then the title of that graph is simple graph, and then you have to show that graph to the user. And Python has created that for us using the data that we provided. Okay. So this is the work of Matplotlib. Now, how can we use it to putting this you will see in further sessions. For now, this is for reference only, so that you should have an idea that how these things are going to be basically organized together in order to give you a feeling that how we are going to use these things together. Okay. Sorry. Use NumPy to generate and manipulate numerical data, Pandas to organize into data frames, and Matplotlib to visualize the results. So here we have done the same thing. Create data using the array, mp.array, and then names. Name is basically a list. We are not using any NumPy functionality in it. We simply created a list, Amit, Riya, Kiran, Neha, and Tina. Then we are organizing it using data frames like pd.data frame name equal to names. We are providing this key of dictionary, these all values, and we are providing marks, basically these all values that we have created using NumPy. And then we are visualizing that into a bar graph. In form of a bar graph, we are using plt.bar. Df basically represent the variable in which this data frame value is stored. So we are accessing it by defining it here that name comma df.marks. Basically, on x-axis, our name should come. On y-axis, our marks should come. And we are giving it a color in order to make it more enhanced. Okay. So we are giving here color equal to orange. Then we are showing it a title that student marks. And then we are labeling x label equal to name, y label equal to marks. And then we are showing it to the user. So this is what is happening behind the scene. And then you will see a bar graph with yellow color. Okay. X-axis defining the name of the student, y-axis defining the marks of the students. You are visualizing it in form of bar graph. So for your assignment, you have to install NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib, as this was your introductory lecture to data analytics. You will get some practical hands-on in the later sessions. Then after installing it, verify your installation by using import NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, print library successfully installed. Take a screenshot of this setup and upload it on this link. For support and help, you can contact us here. And thank you for joining today's session.